By the way, the NFL is defined. The great players and coaches in this league, Tom Brady's the GOAT. He is really defined more than anything by change. Bill Belichick and Andy Reid, in my opinion, are the two best coaches in the NFL. Andy Reid and Bill Belichick were the first coaches in the National Football League to consider 3rd down and 3 a passing down. This league is cruel to the coaches, Mike Ditka, who won't change and get stubborn. It rewards those who are always about change. Silicon Valley is now bigger than Wall Street. Silicon Valley is about evolving, growing, adapting, loyalty by, new stuff in. Baker Mayfield talked yesterday, or the day before, or maybe the day before, but I just got my hands on it. He was interviewed by something called Complex Magazine. So complex I couldn't find it. But the point is he had a lot to say, and here's one of the bites I want to talk about. I probably won't ever change. It's just me. And there's growing up and lessons you learn. But, I'm always going to be who I am, and I enjoy it. Oh, Baker. You're changing already, and you can't even admit it. First of all, Baker, you called out Duke Johnson, that running back, and your teammates confronted you. Remember that a couple of weeks ago? If a player talked about playing time, would you do the same thing you did with Duke Johnson? I bet you wouldn't. That's called change. By the way, he was on Barstool Radio this week, was Baker Mayfield. They were goading him to talk about me. He did not. He would have 6 months ago, but he has slightly matured and changed. He no longer takes big shots at me on Twitter. Browns told him to stop it. That counts as change. By the way, he just got married, Joy. Here's how it works, guys, when you get married. You got to make some alterations to your lifestyle. Baker Mayfield sounds like a 24-year-old boy. You know how 24-year-old guys are. I am not going to sell out. It's who I am. I do not change. Oh, it's a cute little saying. But then you realize you're 27 and sort of a loser. You live in Cleveland, you're going to Vegas, and you have to share a room with 8 other guys. You're flying on the back of Southwest Airlines. Come on, Cleveland guy. Want to be a player for the first time in your life? Sit in the front of the plane? $7,000 a night suite. You know how you do that? With change. Change is growing up. It's evolving. Baker Mayfield's going to evolve the rest of his life because he's smart. He isn't Cleveland. He has adapted. Cleveland isn't techie. The smart cities in this country are going tech. Salt Lake is San Francisco, Seattle, Dallas, Atlanta, New York, Boston, D.C., Seattle, Los Angeles. The cities that aren't evolving and growing and are tradition rich and holding on to the past and haven't embraced tech are dying. Baker Mayfield's changing now. He's just too young to admit it. He got married. He's changing. Duke Johnson situation, confronted. He's changing. No longer does shout-outs. Not as confrontational on Twitter. Barstool Radio goaded him. He didn't buy into it. Those are all, he's an agent of change. It's exactly what he's doing, and it's why Baker Mayfield, in my opinion, is going to have a nice career. Don't brag about not changing. Tom Brady defines change. That's why Tom Brady's the GOAT. That's why Tom Brady aged better than Brett Favre. Because Brett was more rigid and stubborn. Tom wasn't. What do you want to be? Baker Mayfield, you are changing now. You're going to change your diet. You're going to change your attitude, your workout regimen. That's in your 20s, change is the enemy. In your 30s, it's a necessity. If you want to be a player, if you want to get better. By the way, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, they're going to be changing that playbook and changing that style and changing that offense. Andrew Luck a couple years ago. Frank Reich gets hired and says, we're going to change the offense. No more 7-step drops. Start throwing the ball away. Make changes to your game. Andrew Luck went to Stanford. Andrew Luck's like, yeah, I'm tired of having a lacerated kidney. I'm going to change. Andrew Luck changed his game. Okay, Patrick Mahomes is going to change his game. And Baker, believe it or not, you got that 23, 24-year-old bravado. You are already changing. You're going to keep making changes. And it's going to be a necessity if you want to be an all-time great. People say, Baker is perfect for Cleveland. Well, look at the demographics, look at the socioeconomics, look at the industries, look at the economy. My guess is Baker will not be just like Cleveland. He'll be a grower. He'll be potentially transformative. He'll be constantly evolving and constantly embracing new stuff. And I know young men don't want to say that, but do you want to fly in the front of the plane or the back of it? Do you want your own room when you go to Vegas with the boys, or you want to sit in a room with 4 beds and 9 dudes? You're not getting there saying things like, never got to change. I'm not a sellout. I am what I am. It is so adorably 23 and 24 years old. All right, let's shift to this. I've been saying during the Zeke, Jerry, Steven, Dak, Amari negotiations that Jerry and Steven, dad and son, have been like a pro wrestling tag team partners, right? Like Jerry talks, then Steven talks, and then Jerry talks, and then Steven talks. And by and large, I think it's been smart. They're trying to curry favor with their fan base. They're trying to put pressure on Zeke. And I think by and large, it has been very, very smart. But I thought Jerry made a mistake yesterday talking about comparing negotiations to something that was at best odd. So apparently Jerry's had his hand severed several times and almost bled to death near a forest. Okay, I thought that was Jerry's first big whiff. He's now comparing signing a football player to having his hand severed and bleeding to death. I'm not Sigmund Freud, but if those are your dreams at night, something tells me you're kind of freaking out about this holdout stuff. If I'm Zeke's agent today, I'm saying the old man is losing it. He's freaking out. You know how I have snake dreams when I drink too much wine? Jerry's having holdout, I'm bleeding to death in a forest with a severed hand dreams. Not great for Jerry Jones. He also said in the interview he doesn't want to do what happened years ago when he had to let DeMarcus Ware go because he paid Tony Romo so much. Again, anxiety, clutching. He's telling the players, this is painful. That's the exact opposite of what Jerry Jones should be doing in this negotiation. Take the emotion out of it. We can win without you. Between talking about how great Tony Pollard and Alfred Morris are and the I'm bleeding to death with a severed hand in the forest, I thought this was a whiff by Jerry. Listen, I can have opinions all day on this stuff, but I'm just going to tell you what I would do if I owned the Cowboys. 3 different players, 3 different positions, 3 different offers. Dak Prescott, I'd sign him. Swallow hard, probably have to pay him $32. I'd deal with it. I'd sign Dak Prescott now. I would make calls and try to trade Ezekiel Elliott. I think he's peaked. I think he's high maintenance. I think he's immature. I don't think he's a great teammate. And I'm not sure, like AB, I think he'll handle it well with an excess of money. Amari Cooper shares more personality traits with Dak. I would hold for a year and probably franchise tag him, which will pay him, in my opinion, probably more than he's actually worth. Sign Dak, move Zeke, wait on Amari. And by the way, it's not about talent. In the NBA, I will pay my stars. In the NFL, age, traits, maturity, character, position, all matter. I'm signing Dak, I'm trying to move Zeke, and I'm being patient with Amari. That's what I would do. And I would stop talking publicly about severed hands and dying and bleeding to death in a forest. That was not great. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.